into it. Have a good time. Join the fun, grab someone, wave those hands in the air if you're there. We'll have a good time, good time, good time. Join the fun, make some noise, ride that beat in your seat right there. We'll have a good time.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Have a good time. Have a good time. Have a good time. Have a good
All right, guys, welcome to another Tag Talks. My name is Talia Arisa Gibson. You can call me Tag for short. And today we're going to be talking about Jonathan Majors and Hollywood Pitfalls. So, I don't know if you guys follow or have followed this story or know anything about it, but just to kind of give you some insight, Jonathan Majors is an actor, an up-and-coming actor who just kind of really took off from the movie Creed 3, and of course he was getting recognition for previous movies as well, but that was his most recent movie. And so you can do some research and read his bio and things like that. He was born and raised pretty much in California and Texas, and so he's been on the rise, and somebody that I was like, oh, I definitely dig that. So he's definitely my type. Very smart, but also creative, and works hard. So I mean, you can't complain about that. So I don't know, you guys can imagine that I was shocked and surprised to see him in the news for something just crazy, and it was like, what in the world did this come from? So I will fill you in on what's going on with that. So basically, the other day, I'm trying to remember what day it was. I can't remember the exact date, but it hasn't been super long or anything like that. I believe it was on the 25th of March, like 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, something like that. But I was on, I believe, Facebook, and I saw on the news feed that Jonathan Majors had been arrested for an alleged assault in New York, and that he had denied any wrongdoing. So he was arrested on a Saturday in New York on domestic violence allegations. Apparently he had a dispute with a 30-year-old woman. Some were saying it was his girlfriend. I don't know if that's been confirmed or anything like that. But according to a statement from NYPD, basically the woman was assaulted and was taken to the hospital with minor injuries to her head and neck. So apparently they're saying that they were coming from a party in Brooklyn. They were in a taxi cab, and some are saying that there was an argument that unfolded. Some say that she was trying to see his phone because she thought he was talking to someone else, and she was trying to peek over at his phone, and he pushed her hand away and then proceeded to assault her. Apparently she didn't talk to police until the following morning. Now, today, there has been an update as far as basically they are saying, and this is coming from Jonathan Majors' attorneys, they are saying that they are expecting charges to be dropped because there is video footage from the taxi cab. There's a statement from the taxi cab driver and others who witnessed that are saying it is false and that Jonathan Majors is innocent. And also they are saying that she has recanted her statements of abuse. Now, with that being said, so I'm reading comments, people can be crazy in the comments. They'll say whatever because, internet people just become very bold and courageous on the internet. But anyway, so some people were saying, well, just because she recanted doesn't mean that he's innocent. And, I agree. I always try to support anybody who is a victim, but I also want to make sure that I know the truth before I say someone is a victim, because we do know that unfortunately there are women and men, but in this situation, there are women who will lie and say that they've been abused because they are angry over something. And I hope that that's not the case, but if it is the case, then I believe Jonathan Majors should take legal action, and I believe that the NYPD should take legal action against her if that is true. So if you have video footage from the taxi cab, if you have the taxi cab driver's statement saying that that's not how it went down, then I want to know what's going to happen about it. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit today. Some of the Hollywood pitfalls when it comes to men of color. I believe, and some people say, why do you got to bring color into it? Well, apparently the young lady that he is with is a white woman. They say she is British. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but that's kind of the last person that people have seen him with. She may be someone else. It could be a black woman. We don't know until we know for sure. But I'm speaking about Jonathan Majors because as a black man, you have to think about things a little bit better, because in a situation like this, let's say they were not in a taxi cab. Let's say they were in a hotel room or their home and this happened. There would be no footage or video cameras to prove his innocence. So it would be her word against his. Now, apparently, the young lady had injuries and scars, not scars, but had wounds that made it, I guess, appear that she had been abused. And so that part people still have questions about. Basically, if it's true and he did not assault her, then where did those visible wounds come from? Now, you had some people that were in the comments who were saying she could have self-inflicted to make it seem like something happened. Also, initially, a lot of the media just quickly started reporting, and they were saying that she called police. His attorneys are saying that Jonathan Majors called the police the following morning because he was concerned about her behavior. When they arrived, she said that he had abused her, and based on what she looked like and what she said, they arrested him. And that's a part of, apparently, their protocol, that if they have been given a statement and they have reason to believe that it could be true, that they, I guess, are required to arrest, something like that. That's kind of what Jonathan Majors' attorneys were pretty much saying. So I just think in this kind of situation, I would say to any man of color who is entering this industry, whether it be entertainment and music or through acting or whatever it might be, sports, consider who you have around you. Protect yourself. If you need to have or pull out your phone and start recording in a situation that you think might turn against you, we have to start thinking that way, unfortunately, because if there were no statements from the taxi cab driver, if the taxi cab driver wasn't in the car, if they had been in any other situation, his whole life could be ruined because they're going to believe her. And even if they said there was no evidence, even if they let him go, he would still have to deal with the repercussions of that. So I'm hoping that whatever video footage his attorneys are saying they have from the taxi cab and the taxi driver's statement, I'm hoping that it's specific and accurate enough to basically show that this did not happen the way that it was told. But let's say that it turns out that he is innocent And that, let's say she started this whole thing in the taxi car. Did she start hitting him? Did he try to stop her from hitting him? Those are kind of the questions I have. Because my thing is, people will say a man should never hit a woman. But what we don't hear enough is that a woman should never hit a man. And I'm not saying that a man should return a hit. But what I'm saying is, we're all human beings. And I don't feel like we should say, well, a man is stronger, so a woman can hit him. No. We're all human beings, and we shouldn't put our hands on each other. So I'm very curious about this video footage. So I'm trying to not even make any type of judgment about it, because I wasn't there and I don't know. Could Jonathan Majors have some issues where he gets mad and he puts his hands on people? He could. I don't know. I don't know him personally. But I will say this. I don't ever hold anyone so high that I can't notice if there is something wrong. And in this situation, I don't know. Like, I haven't been around Jonathan Majors to see how he is in various situations or things like that. There are two guys who've been on Twitter saying that Jonathan Majors has a history of assault and abuse from his college days and things like that. There have been no stories of that until now, all of a sudden. And so it makes you wonder if that is even true, or if they're just jumping on board because he was in a situation with a white woman. Because these two men that were telling these stories, I believe one of them was a Caucasian man. I don't know about the other one. It was hard to tell. But you also have to consider that some people may not want to see this man succeed. He might have been in school with some people who wish they had made it, and he's the one who made it. And you got to deal with that. But you also have to protect your space. So if I could say anything to any young black male or man of color who's entering this industry, you have to prove yourself almost 10 times over, 10 times more, to show that you're innocent of something that you may not have done. People are going to believe the victim or alleged victim until you prove that you did not do it, even if you are telling the truth. And that is the hard part. And I see a lot of men were posting and saying, well, what are men supposed to do? Because in a situation where you're with somebody who may be your girlfriend and you get in a disagreement, is she going to flip the script and say you abused her? And what if it's not true? It's just your word against hers. And in this situation, thankfully, hopefully, this video can prove his innocence, as his lawyers or attorneys are saying. But some of these Hollywood pitfalls are stories of men with women. And in some situations, you've had men who have abused, taken advantage of women. And so you have those, and so it's almost like PTSD for some people, because they immediately are like, oh my goodness, poor woman, poor lady. Like, oh my gosh, because you just don't want to think that somebody's going to lie and say they've been assaulted, when there's so many true cases of women being assaulted, and it's hard enough to come forward and have people actually believe you, because there are some men and women, and I'm going to say men because it's the situation of a man being accused of abuse, but there are some men who have these great personas around their friends, around their career. Outwardly, people see them as great people, and they're going home and they're abusing somebody. And a lot of times when those victims come forward, it's hard to believe them, because this person has not shown to be that in other areas of their life. At work, they're nice, they're polite, they help. With their friends, they're nice, they're polite, they help. They're not quick to anger. But then they have that woman at home that they blow up on. And we've seen so many stories of that where that's true. The woman was being abused. And so you want to believe the victim if it is a victim. But in a situation like this where they're saying the taxi driver said that that's not how it went down, the video from the taxi says that that's not how it went down, apparently, allegedly. And I have to say that because no one has seen a video except for apparently his attorneys and whoever else has access to it. But if that is the case, then what are men supposed to do? Because if this is a situation that of his girlfriend, it's like it's not even a stranger. It's not like a woman you met at a party and you took her up to your hotel room kind of situation. So how do you protect your space from somebody who is your partner? Now, I will say possibly pay attention to some of the behaviors or some of the things that women may show in your relationship, like jealousy or always thinking they need to see your phone. I've never, ever wanted to ask or even thought about asking to see a partner's phone. Like, to me, his phone is his phone, my phone is my phone. Like, I would be offended if he asked me to look through my phone, because that's a lack of trust. And if you have somebody like that in your life, then just know that you're going to have to deal with some other moments of distrust because they don't trust you. I shouldn't have to ask to see your phone. Now, I can understand maybe sharing passcodes for emergency sake, like something happens and you need to get in my phone or whatever it is, that might be whatever the case. But just to be wanting to look through someone's phone just to see what they're doing and making sure they're not cheating or whatever it might be, it's crazy to me. Now, Jonathan Majors, he may have been talking to another woman on his phone or chatting with another woman. I don't know. But even if he was, that has nothing to do with accusing someone of abuse. Like, just leave. Go find somebody else if you feel like you really believe somebody's really cheating on you. Like, it's okay if you don't want to deal with that. Like, I wouldn't want to deal with a cheater either, but he might have just been talking to anybody. Like, we don't know. And I can't even say or take up for him. And the thing about it, I'm just kind of leaving it open because right now I'm just kind of waiting to see what unfolds. But I would say oftentimes we're so quick to be excited about somebody's downfall. Like, I knew he was too good to be true, or this or that. So it's like you're almost wanting people to fail. So I hope whatever the truth is comes out, whether it's the truth that is her truth or the truth that is his truth, whatever the truth is, I hope that it comes out. I would hate for it to be true that any type of hands-on violence came from Jonathan Majors toward her. But at the same time, I do also want to know if there were any hands-on behavior that came from her to him. Because there can be women that will just hit men and slap them and hit them. And then if you're in a car situation, how do you handle that? Do you just sit there and let yourself get hit? Do you try to hold them? Do you like push them off? Like, how does that work? Because I don't believe anybody should abuse anyone. Just because someone hits you doesn't necessarily mean you don't hit them back. But if you're trying to stop something and someone's repeatedly going at you, that's hard. Just as a human being, I'm just trying to put myself in that situation. I don't care if it's man or female, but I feel like we hold men at a higher expectation of, you just don't hit a woman at all. But we need to hold women to that same expectation. I think the expectation is good to have for men. Don't hit women. Like, no man should hit a woman. I agree. But we have to hold women to the same expectation. They don't get a pass because they're women and they might not be as strong. No, both of you shouldn't put your hands on each other. And I feel like we need to be at that level. So if this happens to be that a woman accused a man and lied, she should be arrested at the same penalty a man would for abuse. Because we need to stop this from happening, and women need to know that they are going to have to deal with the consequences of that behavior. Sue her, lock her up. I feel like if you're going to do that to the person who was accused, then the person who lied should have that same level of consequences. And so we will see how this story unfolds. But comment down below, what do you guys think about this story? I am kind of just watching to see how it unfolds. I'm not saying that the young lady is a liar, but I am listening to his attorneys and what they're saying about the fact that they have video. And I think what everyone's waiting for is to hear what was on that video. And what I don't want the video to be is that she started hitting him and then he hit her back, and then people saying he needs to go to jail. Nope. If you're going to send one, send the other, because they both were hitting each other, if that was the case. That's just what I think about it. And you may disagree, and that's okay. But I would just say disagree respectfully in the comments if you do. But we will see how this unfolds. I hate to see it because I believe Jonathan Majors is highly talented, very smart. I love hearing his interviews and him telling his story and just talking about the craft that he has. He's very hardworking. So I would hate that if this is a whole lie, I would hate for that to impact all the hard work that he's put in. So we will see. Just be careful, y'all. You can't trust everybody. So again, I am Talia Arisa Gibson. You can call me Tag for short. You can check me out on various social media at TAGforShort. Also, my website is www.TAGforShort.com. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next Tag Talk.
Have a good time. Join the fun, grab someone, wave those hands in the air if you're there. We'll have a good time, good time, good time. Join the fun, make some noise, ride that beat in your seat right there. We'll have a good time,
Like, comment, subscribe.